Welcome to The Point. I'm your host, Anna Kasparian, and I'm sad to say that this is the last time The Point will air out of YouTube Space LA. I want to give a special thanks to the good people at YouTube for allowing us to film out of here, but I have to say I'm also really excited to go back to our regular studio. Now, we have a really exciting show for you guys today. We have two brand new panelists that are going to help me discuss things like, I don't know, racist frat boys at the University of Oklahoma, and also some really, really good people online getting together to help those in need. I can't wait to talk about these topics, but I'm sure you're wondering who these lovely people are, so let me go ahead and introduce them. We have Melia Mills. She's a comedian here in Los Angeles, and as I said, she is a first-time panelist. Super excited to have you on.
So happy to be here, Anna. Thanks for having me.
All right, and we also have Hasan Piker, who has a very fancy title here at TYT Network. He is the Strategic Partnership Manager. Haas, loving the hat.
Thank you.
All right. This is the only show that would let you get away with that shit. Let's keep it real. All right, so let's get to the very first topic. It is a topic that has made quite a stir in the press recently. Members of a fraternity at the University of Oklahoma have just been expelled, and their fraternity has basically been banned from the university after a video surfaced of them doing a racist chant. For those of you who haven't seen the video yet, take a look.
There'll never be a nigger I see. There'll never be a nigger I see. You're hanging from a tree, but it'll never stop with me. There'll never be a nigger.
That video actually featured members of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity, and as I mentioned, the president of the University of Oklahoma was so outraged at the contents of that video that he actually expelled 2 students for taking part in that. Now, obviously, there were more students involved, but it's hard to identify every single one of them, and so 2 of the students have been expelled. More might be expelled in the future. There was actually a football player who had committed to playing at the University of Oklahoma, and he has just rescinded his commitment to the university after that video was leaked online. Now, it's interesting to see something like this because these are people that were born in the 90s. These are not people that were born in the 40s or the 50s or the 60s. These are people that are young, and they should be smarter than that. It's not funny to sing about hanging people from a tree, and it's certainly not funny to use the N-word in such a blatant, disgusting way. I want to know what you guys think about this. Melia, make your point.
Well, basically, I mean, they're punks on a bus. They're yelling stuff that they wouldn't yell in front of the weakest black dude. So, like, come on. And it's like, you know, when you're on bus trips, you do like 99 bottles of beer on the wall, and this one kind of took a dark turn. And it's really like, who wants to be an SAE? I mean, this song is, you can tell it's like 50 years old based on the content. And it's like, we couldn't even go to the front door of a restaurant at that time. So we're not trying to get an SAE. And you write songs about like, you know, when there's an issue. This wasn't an issue. NWA wrote "Fuck the Police" because that was an issue. You know, people write songs about breakups because you got a broken heart. It's an issue. We don't write "Fuck the firefighters" because that's not an issue. So, like, dum-dums don't write songs about things that aren't issues.
Yeah, it's a great point. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
Well, I'd like to point out that I'm also a member of a fraternity. I was in college, and fuck SAE. But no, but like, look, there's a huge groupthink mentality here, obviously, in play. I mean, these are like 19-year-olds trying to get laid. That doesn't excuse that they should be chanting this like super ancient, probably older than 50 years, like this ancient chant that on a bus drunk. But at the same time, I think the university singling out 2 students, like banning the organization is completely acceptable, but like singling out the 2 students just because they were caught on tape when the entire bus is singing along, I feel like that's a little, I mean, I feel like that's a little unprofessional, singling them out like that.
I don't know if unprofessional is the right word, but I do see what you're saying. There were more people involved, so it is interesting that only 2 students faced severe consequences for their actions. Now, keep in mind there are lifelong consequences because they're in this video that will be on the internet for the rest of their lives. So there are ramifications for acting like a moron when you're on a bus or in public. All right, so here's the personal question for this story. Share a time where you were disappointed to find that someone wasn't who you thought they were. Haas.
Well, I'm too trusting of all individuals, so I don't know. I'm gonna go with Obama.
Oh, okay, all right.
He is not the liberal champion that I thought he would be.
Fair enough. What about you, Melia?
Well, mine is basically when I was about 6 years old. I went on our local television show, and the woman on the show is like a kindergarten teacher, kind of like a mom type. And we were all in a group Mostly boys, mostly white guys. I was the only black girl, and I kept raising my hand to answer the questions. And at the commercial break, she told my parents, "Can you have her stop raising her hand because she's making the other kids look not as smart?"
What?
Yeah, and my parents, like, for a second, you know, you're doing protocol, so they like pulled me over to say it, and then they decided, no, we're not gonna do that because that will change how she views herself in the world from now on. They were like, get back out there and raise your hand as many times as you want.
Good for them. That is good parenting right there. I feel like a lot of times you come across people and you think that they're kind-hearted and they end up being someone completely different. I don't know, I immediately think of relationships, right? You start off a relationship and you're thinking like, yeah, this is a good guy, I'm gonna like marry this guy, it's gonna be awesome. And then he cheats on you and you're like, oh, maybe not, you know? And so you can get into a big, long discussion about monogamy, which we will later on this episode of The Point. But it's always really disheartening to see that the person that you might be in love with is someone completely different. And for those of you who think I'm being too vague, yes, I've been cheated on. But I want to know if you've ever encountered someone who didn't end up being who you thought they were. And also, what do you think about the punishment that this fraternity had to deal with? Do you think that it was fair? Do you think more people should be expelled? Do you think no one should have been expelled? We want to hear your comments, so please do so in the section below, and we will see you soon. Every once in a while, members of the internet come together to help someone out who has been shamed or who has been ridiculed. Case in point, a man by the name of Sean. He was apparently out dancing, and then some anonymous person took a photo of him dancing and then started laughing at him with his group of friends. And then there's a subsequent picture of this guy named Sean looking sad after he decided to stop dancing because people were making fun of him. Well, this was posted on a notorious forum called 4chan, and all of a sudden it started getting a lot of attention from people who actually felt bad for the guy. So as a result, a woman by the name of Cassandra Fairbanks decided to create a massive dance party with her women's group to celebrate Sean and his groovy moves, all right? So she creates this invite, and I absolutely love it. Let's put it up and take a little look at it. All right, so she doesn't know who the dancing man is. At this point, she didn't know who Sean was, but she said, "Dancing man, we don't know much about you, but a photo on the internet suggested that you wanted to dance and were made to feel like you shouldn't. We want to see you dance freely, and if you would have us, we would love to dance with you." And then she goes on to say that there are about 1,727 women who want to throw this massive dance party for him in Los Angeles. Now, here's the problem. Everyone was trying to figure out who that guy is. Who is Dancing Man? So they got this hashtag called Find Dancing Man to figure out who he was. Someone found this picture of him and tweeted it to Cassandra Fairbanks and said, hey, I think it's this dude. I think he lives in the UK. And then, sure enough, within 12 hours of the original invite, Sean reached out to Cassandra and said, hey, Cass, and Twitter, here I am as requested. And so now there are a bunch of celebrities that are getting behind this. Pharrell is getting behind it. Ellie Goulding is getting behind it. And they want to, you know, pitch in and use their talents to make this the best dance party in Los Angeles imaginable. There was also some crowdfunding to raise money for the event. I absolutely love it because it shows you that there are good people on the internet that do nice things. I want to know what you think, Haas. Make your point.
I used to be fat. So I have like real empathy for this guy. When I saw the picture, especially the second picture, I felt disgusted. And it's awesome that they're doing all this stuff. And 4chan is obviously like notorious for being the gutter of the internet. And so there's no surprise there. But I want to leave on one negative point. It is kind of interesting that right after this happened, they found him online, and then he created a new Twitter for himself called Dancing Man. Yeah. And he's like, and he has 83,000 followers, and he only has 14 tweets so far. But it just seemed like he was, I don't know. I mean, I hope the guy is genuine, but I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we don't see like a new internet sensation like the Dancing Man.
But if we do, what's wrong with that? I mean,
it's kind of like he's capitalizing on this
situation. Maybe he should. I mean, he was made fun of, he was ridiculed, and now people want to rally in support of him. Look, I can see if people are trying to make a point about like, oh, there's a serious obesity epidemic, and should we really be glorified? Whatever. I mean, I thought someone was going to make that point. But even so, like, I think that the fact that people want to do good things and celebrate the fact that he loves dancing and having a good time, it's all good. I'm in favor of it. All right? I'm shutting your comment down. How do you like that? I'm shaming you. Just kidding. I'm not. Melia, what do you think? Make your point.
The second pick really broke my heart. But then I was wondering, I'm totally against shaming, but I was like, were they no rhythm shaming him instead of fat shaming him? Like maybe he didn't have the moves or something? But, I mean, we saw Jared do Subway ads, and he's beloved by everybody. This guy, he seems like he's living a great life. He said he couldn't come out for the party right now because he's in Kiev for the next 2 weeks. Like, I'm loving his life. I hope he comes here. I hope he gets on Dancing with the Stars. I hope he gets paid, gets laid, and has a wonderful life.
Yes, I love it. I love it. All right, so here's the personal question, and this one is definitely a little uncomfortable to answer. Have you ever caught yourself either judging someone or ridiculing someone for the way that they look? Very curious. Melia, I'm going to ask you first.
In elementary school, a group of us ridiculed a girl because her dad came to school every single day with a green and gold bodysuit that was nut hugging, a green and gold cape, and an afro with devil horns in it. He also drove a green and gold Beetle. And so, you know, it's kind of like at that age, you're gonna make fun of this person and their dad. And we feel bad about it now because like crazy stories have come out about it, but back then you're like, what the hell, and why aren't any adults commenting on this? Like, is he an out-of-work superhero? What's happening here?
Or the man.
Wow. I mean, yeah, he really does sound kind of cool, right? But when you're a kid, you don't really see it that way.
Right.
I like that you admitted that. And now I'm curious if Haas has a story that's similar. Haas, have you ever caught yourself ridiculing someone?
Yes. So I was never the bully or anything like that, surprisingly, but I did. I fat shamed my roommate for like a year. And I made him lose 30 pounds because of it. And this is not like it's not because of just that, though. I did also take him to the gym every single day with me and, you know, forced him to work out. And he's happier because of it.
So was this like a tough love type of strategy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and that he consented to?
Yeah, yeah. He agreed that he needed to be like first mentally broken down a little bit.
Oh my God. I don't work that way. Like if I go to a gym and the instructor who's teaching a class is like yelling at me, that doesn't motivate me. That actually just pisses me off and it makes me want to quit. I have definitely caught myself judging people or ridiculing people. One example of that would be when I was in high school and there was this one girl who was very open about her sexuality. And it was really interesting because I quickly started referring to her as like slutty and whatever. And now that I'm older, I look back at that and I'm like, she really wasn't slutty. Like she had a boyfriend that she was having sex with and she was smart about it. Her mom actually was known for providing like birth control and stuff. And I'm like, now that I think about it as like an older liberal person who understands that teenagers have sex, she wasn't really slutty. She was doing what 98% of the girls within the high school were doing. She was just being more open about it. Anyway, have you ever caught yourself ridiculing someone? And also, what do you make of the story of the dancing man? Are you happy that we found Dancing Man? And if you're in Los Angeles, do you think you'd go to this dance party? Comment in the section below, and we will see you guys soon. Emma Watson is very outspoken about the issue of gender equality, but that has gotten her into a little bit of trouble, all right? She is a beautiful actress who is also known as a highly educated woman. She does have a university education. She graduated from Brown, I believe. And so it's kind of incredible that she doesn't really care if she's gonna get any ridicule for it. She will speak out on the issue of feminism and gender equality. So she gave a speech at the UN, at a UN conference. It was the UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, that's her title, at this event. And she talked about the importance of gender equality. As a result, people started threatening her. They said that they would put up nude pictures of her if she didn't back down from what she had to say. So she was questioned about it, and here's what she said. After I gave my speech in September, there was a website set up threatening to release naked photographs of me with a countdown, Watson said. I knew it was a hoax. I knew the picture didn't exist, but I think a lot of people close to me knew gender equality was an issue, but they didn't really think it was that urgent. She continues to say, when they saw that, the minute I stepped up and talked about women's rights, I was immediately threatened. In less than 12 hours, I was receiving threats. If anything, it made me so much more determined. I was just raging. It made me so angry that I was like, this is why I have to be doing this. So it's really interesting because she did not step down. And she was actually very upset at the media for reporting about the nude pictures without even really questioning whether or not they existed in the first place. And so my point in this story is that regardless of what you believe in, it's something that you should always continue to be passionate about, regardless of the threats that are thrown your way. She has shown that she doesn't care about the threats. She has shown that she's passionate about this topic. And regardless of what you think about feminism, you have to admire the fact that she is willing to speak out against sexism, even knowing that people are out to get her as a result of it. Melia, what do you think? Make your point.
I like that she is so bold and fearless. We need more young ladies like her. I also appreciated that someone called out to her, like, how do you feel about making less than Harry Potter in the movie? And she said, you know, I can't really complain about how much I make. I'm in movies, you know?
Right.
I appreciated her take on that, and it's like, you know, it's Harry Potter. If it's 50 Shades of Grey, the sidekick can't complain about not making what Mr. Grey makes. You know, he's the one with the abs.
Right.
It's like if, okay, yes. It's like on Real Housewives of Atlanta, if the guys are complaining about not getting enough airtime, it's ridiculous. But what I really loved in her was her line about consensual chivalry.
Yeah.
Because I do think that it should be consensual and that a man should always be chivalrous.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, a lot of people will talk about feminism and they'll say like, oh, you know, what about like holding a door open? Why do feminists get so angry about it? Actually, like, a lot of them don't. Right?
Exactly.
Like, no one's gonna get angry at holding a door open. But I don't want to devolve into a conversation about feminism right now. I do want to know what you think about this particular story, Haas. Make your point.
Yeah, I think there are thousands of celebrities out there that are making millions of dollars and have this like immense like access, and have an engaged, loyal following, and it's kind of cool that Emma Watson at such an early age is basically taking all of that and then becoming a champion of a cause that she believes in. That's really cool. And to top that off, obviously she's smoking hot.
Oh, okay.
She's so pretty.
All right.
Jesus.
I'm glad you.
But
yeah, I'm glad that you made that very
yeah,
important.
Emma Watson, call me.
Yeah, okay. All right, so here's the question for the story. Name an incident where you were attacked for speaking out about something that you felt passionately about. Melia.
So I was working at a job, and we were doing an award show, and I had some people working beneath me, but my boss had promised everybody that they would get $150 per diem on this trip to Vegas. And we go to Vegas, and she hasn't given it to any of them, and they're all coming to me saying, she hasn't given us the money, she promised the money, like we don't have the money she has, we can't really make it out here without it. So I confronted her, and we ended up having a shouting match.
Oh, hell no.
Yes, and she was like, well, if you guys are that hard up for $150, I'll give it to you. And it's like, that's not the point. The point is you promised it to them, and these people can't afford it. You have the money, so you can't belittle them for not having the $150.
I love how she's trying to shame people, like, oh, you can't, you need $150 a day, or you that poor. Get the fuck out of here. That's what you promised us.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the principle. Haas, what about you?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I am a tall, white, heterosexual male, which puts me in a no marginalized category. And I feel like the only time I've ever been passionate about anything and gotten commentary on it would be like my love for cheese, I guess.
What?
Wow.
Like,
Wow, you lived
What
a
a
freaking
privileged life.
charmed life.
I mean, yeah, I can't.
Who was against you liking cheese?
It was when I wanted to do Bro Tip, and everyone was kind of making fun of me for doing the cheese episode.
Okay, well, you guys should check that episode out. I'm very curious about that. All right, well, for me, look, when you're working on a show called The Young Turks, which is a politically, you know, left-leaning show, and you're talking about really controversial topics, of course you get attacked by talking about things that you feel passionately about. So I would say the most recent example was on my personal vlog, youtube.com/Anna Kasparian, if you guys want to check it out. I was talking about a woman who went to court in Canada, and she was trying to get her car back. Her car was seized because her son was driving it without a license or something. And apparently the judge refused to hear her case because she was wearing a hijab, which doesn't cover your face. It does cover her hair, though. And so I was kind of outraged by it because there actually is not a policy against the hijab within the Canadian courts. But it didn't seem to matter. This judge was very clear about her disdain for Muslims, and I thought that it was wrong. So I spoke out against that, and I've never had a video on my vlog that has more dislikes. People were pretty upset about it. And the reality is, I don't care if you're wearing, you know, any type of religious gear when you're going to court. It should be respected because you're not harming someone when you're wearing religious attire. And so, I don't know, I think that there's a lot of hatred toward Muslims right now, and a lot of it is unwarranted because people have a hard time differentiating between extremists and just regular modern day Muslims. But nonetheless, I will continue speaking out against that type of discrimination because I think it's the right thing to do. But I do want to know if you guys have experienced anything similar. Have you been attacked for talking about something that you're very passionate about, or have you ever been attacked for doing something that you didn't expect to be attacked for? Comment in the section below and we will talk to you guys soon. When it comes to some countries in the Middle East, it is unquestionable that there seems to be this mentality that women are second-class citizens. Case in point, there was a Lebanese female anchor who was actually talking to a sheikh about a very serious topic. Now, interestingly enough, the sheikh kind of went off on a tangent and wasn't answering the question. When you're on television, you have limited time. You can't go on this long tangent. You got to really focus on the topic. So the female reporter or anchor was trying to kind of get him back on track, and he didn't take too kindly to a woman telling him what to do. Take a look.
أتمنى إنه ما تنفعل، نحن بنحترم حضرتك إنه بدك تعطي إجابة وافية، بس للأسف وقتنا قصير.
أنا اتفقت مع الأستاذ إبراهيم حربي.
طيب تفضل.
اتفقت مع الأستاذ إبراهيم حربي ألا تقاطعي.
تفضل أعطونا شباب وقت. تفضل.
تبيني لنفسك إنك
مميزة.
خلاص
تفضل بدون ما توصفني، تفضل.
أنا أخدم الفكرة التي أريدها.
أنا هون سيد الاستوديو وسيد الكلام، لو سمحت أنا عم بقول لك قصة الوقت لأخدم لك إجابتك، إذا ما نتوسع كثير بالإجابة ما راح يكون في عنا وقت لبقية الأسئلة، إذا ما نرجع بحقبات تاريخية بعيدة ما راح يكون عنا وقت لنخدم الموضوع. الشغلة واقفة عليك، تيكون عنا وقت.
يعني إحنا في
لحظة تيكون عنا وقت لنجاوب على كل الأسئلة، بس مين بيقرر الموضوع؟ أنا بقرره. أنا هون بقرره.
قرري ولا تقرري، هذا لاختيارك، أنا هنا أفعل ما أشاء أنا أيضا.
طب تفضل سمعني اجابتك، تفضل سمعني اجابتك، خلينا نرجع للموضوع، ما نضيع وقت بجدال بلا طعم.
خلاص، طب اسكتي حتى استطيع ان اتكلم. اولا هذه انا بتكلم لكي يفهم
اول شيء كيف شيخ محترم مثلك بيقول اسكتي لمذيعه؟ معلش كيف بتقول اسكتي يعني؟
انا محترم.
خلص ما عاد بدي كفي هذا الموضوع، فينا نوقف الموضوع؟
انا لا يشرفني ان احضر.
فينا نوقف الموضوع لو سمحتوا شباب؟
لا انت
لحظة، يعني أو بده يكون في احترام متبادل أو بلي الموضوع كله.
All right, so she shut that interview down after he said that it was beneath him to be interviewed by a woman like her who, we don't know what else he was going to say because she shut the interview down. But I love seeing a person being able to, I guess, fight against that type of mentality because you don't see it too often in the Middle East, right? Oftentimes you see a religious leader or a man have complete control or complete power over a situation like that. And in this case, the female host obviously had the power and the control. And it's nice because if they were on equal footing, I would say, you know, that was kind of unfair for her to shut it down. But in this case, he obviously thinks he's better than her. And that is a mentality that I think is extremely dangerous. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
I mean, you might not like this point, but I feel like a group is like a group of people are marginalized when they do something that, like, if a man did, like something normal, like something within her rights, and something that's completely like any other anchor would have done in that same situation, it becomes like a viral story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If a man,
thank God you're not angry at me.
No, I think that's true. I think if a man had shut that interview down because he was being disrespectful, it wouldn't be in the news. But women in that society are marginalized. And so as a result, when she has power of that situation, everyone's like, damn, you know, she's standing up for herself. Melia, what do you think?
I think she was gangster about hers. I would love to see them in a rap battle.
Oh, damn. That would be hilarious.
Right?
That should be an SNL skit.
Right? But I do think that she could have kept him on and flipped it and let him dig himself deeper. Like, you know, when you watch The Daily Show, if they cut off ignorant people, we would miss a lot of gems, you know?
That's true.
And so as a journalist, people have to interview like Jeffrey Dahmer, and they're against cannibalism. And if black people didn't interview people who said disparaging things about blacks, there'd be no interviews. Like, you know, journalists don't necessarily want to interview scrupulous people. We don't want to see they don't want to see the people who help dogs or babies or whatever. You know, they want something that's newsworthy, and obviously it was newsworthy.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Now here's the question. Name a time when you confronted someone or you told someone off. Haas.
So when I was in college, this is more of a confrontation story, but when I was in college, I was working on a program called Cicada with the Department of Homeland Security, the Command Control Interoperability Center of Advanced Data Analysis.
Wow,
and
you have some fancy-ass titles.
Yeah, I know. It was like a mathematician, like a group of mathematicians, whatever. I'm not going to get too far into it. But I never told my boss, who was also my professor who wanted me to be on the program, that I was actually going to get up and confront kind of him and the team of math professors that are working with the government, that their website sucked, because that was kind of what we were like supposed to be doing. We were doing marketing and communications for that entire program, and I kind of he was very upset, but I had to like get up, and because he was talking about how like the website's fine, whatever, we need to shift our focus to other stuff, and I had to get up and literally be like, no, the website's not fine, and we did end up changing it, so that's good, but he wasn't too fond of that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you got to speak up, right? Melia, do you have a time where you had to confront someone?
I do. It was junior high, and I was doing at UC Berkeley, we were doing a math, engineering, science achievement program, and there was a guy who'd been bullying my best friend, and I said to him, stop bullying her. And then I turned to walk away. He called my name, so I turned around, and he sucker punched me in the eye.
What the Are you serious?
Where?
What was your reaction to that?
To fight back.
Damn.
Did you whip his ass?
Pretty much.
Damn.
And yeah, and then they tried to like suspend us, and it was a whole drama. They called my dad in, and he was like, I don't know how you raised your son, but I would never raise my son to hit a woman.
That is amazing. I think that's one of the best stories ever told on The Point. Okay, so let me just quickly share mine. There was a girl who had a hard-on for my boyfriend, and so she was sending him nude pictures, and I found out about the nude pictures, and I was not amused by the nude pictures. So I knew where she worked because I'm an investigative journalist and I do my investigations appropriately. And one day I went to her place of work where she is in a customer service position. And as I was walking into this establishment, I'm trying to be as vague as possible. She like had this huge smile. She was like smiling at me, and I knew she knew who I was. We had never met, but she knew who I was. And I was like, this fucking bitch is fucking smiling at me. All right. And so I went up to her and I asked her, hey, are you so-and-so? And she's like, yeah, I am. Who are you? Acting stupid. And I was like, oh, I'm so-and-so's girlfriend. Nice to know that you like to fuck around with guys that are in relationships like a little slut. And she was like, and my heart was pumping. I was so pissed. And I was like, I gotta go because I don't want it to get physical. Violence is not the answer. But I had to say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had to make it known that things will happen if you don't stop. All right? I'm such a tough person, right? Anyway, all right, we gotta wrap this shit up, all right? I'm getting the signal. So tell us what you guys think. You can comment on our stories. You can share your stories. We love hearing from you guys. You already freaking know that. So do it. Comment in the section below, and we'll see you soon. Brian Maxney is a waiter in Wichita, Kansas. He's been working at the Doodah Diner, which has the best name of all diners in the history of diners. And apparently, he has had issues with his teeth for a very long time, since he was a kid. He's missing teeth, some of them are infected, and he couldn't afford the dental work because, let's keep it real, dental work is expensive even when you have insurance. So there he is to the right, you see him there. And interestingly enough, the guy to the left is an attorney from out of town who went to the restaurant to have a meal. He noticed that, the waiter had some issues with his teeth, and the attorney, Fred Bochner, realized that, you know what, I had issues with my teeth growing up, and then I became a lawyer and I fixed it. So wouldn't it be awesome if I can help this guy out by tipping him $25,000 so he can get the dental work necessary to have a new smile? So sure enough, he did tip him, and of course he got permission from the manager before he did so. And if you look at the newer pictures of Maxner, he has a new set of lovely teeth.
Hottie.
I love this story. It makes me feel so warm and gushy inside. I just like hearing stories about people helping one another out. There's just a lot of news where people are tearing each other down. When you look at politics, things are really, really bad. But there are so many good humans out there, and this story just makes me feel like humanity is intact, regardless of the bad news that you hear. What do you think?
I think it's great, and the attorney who paid for his teeth to get fixed is from Oklahoma, so at least one good story came out of Oklahoma this week, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But he did make the guy travel several times to get his teeth fixed from Wichita to Oklahoma, which is a 1.5-hour drive each way.
Oh, come on, girl. Let's keep it real, though.
I know.
Beggars can't be choosers, right?
It's true.
Right. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
For $25,000, I'll travel to Oklahoma a couple times. That's no problem. But I mean, yeah, it's awesome. I looked at the story and I thought, like, when will I get a random act of kindness?
Right.
Because I'm selfish like that.
Here's the thing, I don't believe in karma per se, but I think that good things happen to you when you are a good person. And there must have been something that this waiter did that really spoke to the attorney. All right, so here's the question for the story. If a stranger could just come into your life right now and offer to pay for anything in your life, one thing, what would it be?
I mean, I have some cavities, so if that tooth fairy wants to help me out, but that's a want. A need is the new Apple Watch.
The new Apple Watch. Okay, all right.
The $10,000 one, like the really expensive one?
Damn, girl, you gotta aim a little higher,
was
okay?
just gonna
They'll pay
say.
for anything. And you're like, I don't know, dental work, Apple Watch, whatevs.
I'm low maintenance.
All right, I like that though. Haas, what about you?
I want to be on the SpaceX private spaceship space exploration program. That's like $1 million retainer or something like that to get on it. I'm just kidding. I would probably help ask him to pay for my insane amounts of medical debt that I currently have.
Yeah, that
or
is-
college loans.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I feel like I'm fortunate enough to have everything that I want in my life. Don't get me wrong, I have a pretty humble apartment. I don't live like high off the hog or anything. But my brother just bought a house and he just got married, and you know, it's difficult. I know he's struggling a little bit. His company is starting to lay people off. So if a stranger could pay for anything, I would have the stranger pay off my brother's house so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, but believe me, if I had something that I need to get paid off, then I'd get that money for myself. Anyway, tell us what you think. If a stranger could come into your life, what would you have them pay for? We do love hearing from you guys. And remember, we do make videos where we respond to some of your comments. So please feel free to comment in the section below, and we'll see you soon. We've been hearing a lot of stories of police brutality and the injustice involved in these cases, especially when it's hard to get these police officers to face any consequences when they're shooting and killing unarmed individuals. However, there are 2 police officers, or authorities I should say, in the state of Utah who are facing consequences for their actions. Now, what did they do? Apparently, they were featured in a video with models sporting bikinis, they're shooting guns, and they're riding on tanks. Take a look.
Hi everyone, welcome to Hot Shots 2015. This year we're shooting the calendar in Utah in the US of A. We've got some faces back that you'll recognise, such as Kelly and Daisy. And we've also got some new girls this year, Lauren, Jess, Cindy and Sienna. We've got loads of tanks, boats, helicopters and of course loads of guns. Yeah.
That was fun to watch. Now, the 2 cops that got in trouble are Rob Wilkinson. He is a Utah Highway Patrol sergeant, and also Justin Hansen. He is from the Hansen brothers. No, he's not. That was such a lame joke. He's a State Bureau of Investigation agent. Anyway, so yeah, later on in the video, you can see them, and it's hilarious that that's what they got in trouble for, and they got suspended. I mean, we can't even get people to get suspended for shooting and killing people, but in this case, it's like, wait, you were in a video with hot women? Suspended. Apparently you need permission for that. Wilkinson, who received a 3-day suspension, and Hansen, who received a 1-day suspension, were at the Big Shot Ranch in Grantsville in June when the British bikini models posed for photos and videotaped firing guns for a calendar called Hot Shots. Now, there were 2 other police officers in Utah that previously got in trouble because they actually loaned guns and tanks to bikini-clad women so they can make similar videos. So, look, they should have thought about this before doing it, but in the grand scheme of things, considering all the things that cops have been getting in trouble for lately, I would say that this is probably the last thing that I'm concerned about. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
A good set of boobs can make guys do anything. Like literally, I'll throw my job out the door. I don't give a shit. But Also, the other point I wanted to make is it's kind of funny. First of all, this is like a Republican's wet dream. The calendar, like hot shots, it's like girls shooting guns. They're like cocking guns. I never knew that was so sexual, by the way, up until I watched a girl load a tank up, and I was like, shit.
Well, when you consider the recoil, there's
Yeah,
like a lot of
she's just like,
jiggling
oh,
going on.
yeah, and it was awesome on that point. But
all right.
you never hear, like in the video that I watched carefully for journalism, in the video, the Australian, clearly Australian model is like, oh, I'm here with my friends Candy and, like, I don't know. And they all had like one names, right? And you never hear like runway models like, have one names. Like no one's ever gonna be like Candace Swanpool or however you say her last name. Like no one has ever referred to her as Candace. So I feel like if you have one name in the modeling industry, it's like you're probably not gonna make it that far out of the calendar.
That is some in-depth analysis of the modeling industry.
That's what I thought about.
But I love that you thought about that because that didn't cross my mind at all. Okay, we need a different perspective on the show, and Haas is providing it today. Melia, what do you think? Make your point.
Well, I think obviously it's pretty stupid because just 4 months prior to this in Utah, 4 police officers were suspended for doing the same thing. So it's like, and one got counseling and one got reprimanded. So they really do know how to punish.
I know.
But it's like one of the girls has a .22 hanging out of her bikini, and then another girl's driving the tanks that we saw in Ferguson. Like
I know.
But safety first.
Safety first.
They
We're
had
obsessed with guns. I mean, I'm so
really
desensitized with all these things. All right. So what's the dumbest thing you've ever done for someone that you were attracted to, Haas?
Tell them the truth that I was attracted to them.
Why is that the dumbest thing?
Look, honestly, it was stupid. It's probably fueled by alcohol, and I'm like very reserved, calm and collected usually in situations like this. But one time in Atlantic City, like it was this girl, and I felt something. I don't know if I was drugged.
It was a boner.
But no. Like that's the usual.
Yeah.
But like I felt something out of the ordinary with this girl. I thought like, oh my God. And for some reason, I was also drunk. So I thought, like, could this be the one? Like, out of nowhere. This was a couple years back. And I was, like, I told her straight up, like, are you feeling this? Like, I'm feeling this right now.
Oh, my God.
And it was so bad, and I probably came off so creepy. So after that night, of course, we didn't have sex or anything. Because when you tell a girl that on the first time, they immediately dismiss you. And they're like, you're creepy, get away from me. So,
well, when you tell them, like, do you feel that?
No.
Right.
It wasn't, I was a little smoother than that anyway. But I remember driving back from Atlantic City to school, and I was just thinking, like, never tell girls the truth, Hasan.
You're
never.
The worst. You're the worst. Melia, what about you?
In high school, there was a guy that I had a major crush on, and he lived near me, so I asked for a ride home from school one day, and everybody gathers at the end of school to get the bus or their parents or whatever. So he drives up. I'm hoping it's just me and him, but it was several other people in the car. And then he drove over my foot. And the car was just sitting on my foot. And everybody was like laughing and like, the car's on her foot. And then he finally like figured out how to drive off of it. I hopped in, said I was okay. Had a hospital bill. If he wasn't cute, I would have probably given him the hospital bill.
Damn, girl.
That's crazy.
Wow. You know, it's amazing. I think we've all done something a little dumb when it comes to someone who's attractive. Like, I'm going to keep it real. With my current boyfriend, when I first started dating him, we weren't committed yet, and I didn't want to like fall in love with him right off the bat, even though I could like feel it happening. So I would still date other people because I knew he was dating other people. And this is the worst. Sometimes I'd be on dates with perfectly fine guys. I'm like, this guy's great, I'm having a good time, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd get a text message from my current boyfriend, and it would be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And I'd be like, nothing, I'm just at home. Like, what? And then I would like rush back home so we could hang out. And those poor guys that I went on dates with, like, I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
You are the worst.
I'm the worst.
You are the reason why we lie to girls.
I know. But I love my boyfriend. Anyway, so tell us what you guys think. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done for anyone who's been attractive? We want to hear your stories. I hope they're good ones. So comment in the section below, and we'll see you soon. Have you ever considered being in a polygamist relationship? Gracie X is a blogger who actually shares her relationship status with her husband. She's been with him for more than 25 years. So I think it's safe to say that they have a very strong bond. And apparently she gets joy and pleasure off the thought of her husband having random hookups with other women. And so she talks about this concept, and a word that's tied to this concept is known as compersion. So let me tell you a little bit more about compersion. Let's take a look. All right, so she says, we are raised to believe that when we are one half of a couple, we should derive all our happiness and pleasure from that single partner and only experience it together with that partner. Compersion challenges this ideology. It supports the idea that you are an individual or individual beings with perhaps divergent desires or needs. Having a separate sexual and love experiences doesn't mean your relationship is a failure. To the contrary, it can actually strengthen your connection. Fascinating, fascinating take on this. I am very open-minded when it comes to things like this, when it comes to different types of relationships. Doesn't necessarily mean that I want it in my relationship, but I think that it's really interesting to see couples who are open like this and they get pleasure off knowing that their significant other is being pleasured. I want to be the only one to pleasure my man, but that's not to say that it won't change in the future. I mean, when you're with someone for 25 years, someone else might seem appealing sexually, but it doesn't mean that you want an emotional relationship with them. What do you think?
I think she's lying to herself. I think it always gets messy, and I think that 9 times out of 10, it benefits the man and not the woman. And I think it's bullshit. And like, even your homies aren't really stoked for you when you have sex with somebody. So you're stoked for your husband that you made marital vows with when he's having sex with another bitch, please.
Damn. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
The proper term for this polyamorous relationship that she's mentioning is it's a fetish. It's called cuckolding. That's what they call it in pornos. It's like a very broadly respected there's fetish that has a variety of different themes under it, like, you know, S&M cuckolding, stuff like that, where you like to get tied down and be cuckolded. And it's just something that people get off on. Like, I mean, I respect it. I personally wouldn't like my girlfriend that I've already taken so many steps out of my life to be with, and you know what I mean? Like to take so many commitments to be with, and I wouldn't want her to.
You wouldn't want her to
hook up with
dude
anyone.
while she's with you. I get it. I mean, look, I totally feel that. I know that I don't think that we are meant to be monogamous, but we also have that element of jealousy. And so I would much rather do my best to be monogamous as opposed to deal with the jealousy throughout my relationship. Because let's keep it real, I would be super jealous knowing that my man is hooking up with someone else. All right, so here's the personal question, which I think we already know the answer to. Would you ever be open to either polygamy or being polyamorous? Melia, I think I know your answer, but...
I'm way too territorial. I would cut a bitch.
All right. That's my favorite phrase ever. Haas, what about you?
I've never not had a polygamous. I mean, I've never had a monogamous relationship. All of my relationships have been polygamous. But on top of that, it's also kind of polyamorous as well, because if you're getting in a relationship with me, you need to love my dog.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Bestiality.
So not like that.
Not like that. Okay, good. Good. I'm not open to it at this point in my life. That's not to say that I wouldn't be open to it 25 years down the line or something after I've been in a long-term stable relationship or marriage. I don't hate on people that do this. If you genuinely can do it and it's not an issue for you or your relationship, cool. But one thing that I do know about me is that when I am in any type of physical relationship with a guy, whether I like it or not, I slowly but surely start falling for him. So things would get messy. Tell us what you think. Are you in a polyamorous relationship? Have you considered it? Would you want it? I do want to hear from you guys, so comment in the section below and we'll see you soon. There was a tragic story involving a man by the name of Carlos Morales. He unfortunately lost his wife after she gave birth to quadruplets, okay? That's 4 children that she gave birth to at once. And unfortunately, during the pregnancy, she suffered from severe blood loss and she did not survive. Now, her friend wanted to help Carlos out as much as possible, so she actually created a GoFundMe page to raise money. The goal was to raise $500,000, $500,000 for him so he could raise his children in Arizona. Well, thankfully, complete strangers got involved, 9,300 to be exact, and they successfully raised $330,000 for him. This is another really great story of people coming together to help someone in need, and it definitely warms my heart. Melia, what do you think? Make your point.
This story gives me chills. I feel so sad for those kids and the father, and they had a true love story. Like, he only spoke Spanish, she only spoke English, and they both learned each other's language. And I just think it's a beautiful thing that everybody came together to give money to this man, and I hope that, you know, he's able to raise his kids with all the love and care that his wife would have done.
Yeah, and his in-laws are helping him raise the kids, so it's awesome to see a community come together in support of someone. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
This is such a great counter argument to like all of those stories about potato salad that get crowdfunded, and like these guys end up making, you know, $500,000 for like a potato salad party, and I'm sitting there like eating my fist like, I'm so mad, why didn't I think of that? And then you see stories like this and you're like, okay, well, there's still justice and kindness in the world, and that's awesome. It's great that they wanted to help this guy out.
It feels really good to see that. All right, well, here's the personal question for the story. What's the kindest thing anyone has ever done for you? Melia.
My coworkers at Judge Joe Brown threw me a surprise party, and they had a Prince impersonator.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Prince showed up. I'm like,
no,
damn.
no.
Jesus.
That would have been awesome. But no, a Prince impersonator, I was fine with that. He was a little on the older side. He looked a little more like Little Richard than Prince.
Yeah.
And then he gave me like a G-string as a gift, and I thought it was an eye patch.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Haas, what about you?
You're gonna hate me, but I feel like no one's ever been kind to
Get
me.
out of here. You are such an ungrateful guy.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
People
No.
have done lots of great things for
I didn't
you.
wanna-
Me allowing you to be on the show is an act of kindness.
This is it. This is the act of kindness. This is
her.
the greatest thing anything's ever happened to me.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to say that a lot of great things happened to me. A lot of the acts of kindness that I've experienced were from my own family members. But one that really stands out to me in this moment has to do with a friend who realized that I was extremely depressed after a pretty bad breakup. And so a week after the breakup, and after a week of me just laying in bed and crying, she basically forced me to go out, and I really didn't want to go out. Now, the breakup happened during my birthday, so my birthday was ruined. And so she decided, hey, why don't the two of us go out and celebrate your birthday together? It's a birthday redo. When I went to the club, I was surprised to see that all of my close friends were there. Nice. And then that was also the night that I happened to meet my current boyfriend. So it was like insane that it all worked out that way, but it was a life-changing night for me, and I really appreciated it.
I wasn't invited to your birthday.
You were
redo.
there. I have pictures with you
God.
there,
Oh,
Brad.
never mind. Never mind.
Anyway, all right, what about you guys? Have you experienced an act of kindness that you want to share with us here at The Point? Comment in the section below. We do read your comments, and we will see you and talk to you soon. Seniors at a New Mexico high school got to vote on what the theme of their prom will be. Now, a lot of proms have lots of mediocre themes, like, I don't know, Under the Sea or Night Under the Stars, lame things like that. Now, this school decided to go with the controversial route. This is Cottonwood Classical Preparatory School, and they voted on a communism-themed prom. I don't know how that's gonna work, but it sounds hilarious. Apparently they're a bunch of jokesters, and this is the kind of thing that they're into. Here's what one of the students had to say. We have a lot of jokesters in our grade, so they wanted to do it to be funny, and a lot of them are really intense with politics. So maybe some of them are actually in favor of communism. Now look, I love the idea of the democratic process that they utilize to come to the conclusion of a communist party, but nonetheless, I think it's interesting, and I'm very curious to see how this all ends up. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
Thank God. First of all, they're all like international baccalaureate students, so they're all like, we're gonna have a communist theme party. Like, they're all nerds. Like, and at least they're having a communist theme party and not like some crazy like racial segregation theme party or something
That's
like
true.
that, which happens all the time. And, you know, everyone knows, ain't no party like a communist party, because the communist party don't stop.
Oh my God. Melia, please, for the love of God, you make your point.
I love a theme party. My prom was like a night to remember.
Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of crap, boring. But the seniors at the school voted on it, and some of the students are communists or from communist countries. I just want to know what it'll look like. Will like the backdrop for photos be the Berlin Wall?
Yeah.
Or will like the punch bowl be like a statue of Lenin urinating into
Yeah.
it.
Are
like,
they going to ration like food?
Right,
or what? I
right.
don't know.
Will everybody get like free health care that night?
That would be freaking hilarious. They bring a doctor like, hey guys, you get to see the doctor tonight. All right, well, here's the personal question for the story. What was the most controversial thing that happened to you or to anyone in your high school? Melia.
I'd have to say our high school didn't have a lot of controversy because I'm from the Bay Area. It's very liberal. So like, you know, the seniors, there were like 10 guys who were gay, some transgender people, and nobody even batted an eye. So I had a pretty cool high school in that
Wow,
sense.
so you had transgender students and no one even,
Didn't
I
even
love
care.
that. I love that. I wish we got to a point where every community was like that. Haas, what about you?
I had the exact opposite, but like too far in the opposite that everything was controversial. I went to high school in a Muslim country in the capital of Turkey, in Ankara. So
Ankara.
Yeah, so it was very controversial when we found out that like 2 of the students were having sex with one another, and everyone was like, "Whoa, that's like out of the boundaries of."
Fascinating,
Quite a
fascinating. I think the most controversial thing that happened while we were in school was that one of the most studious and popular students got pregnant really young. She was 15 when she got pregnant. And our school was a magnet school where everyone just seemed like they were incredibly nerdy and not sexually active at all. So when that happened, everyone was like, oh my God, she's pregnant. But you know, she is an incredible woman. I mean, she continued on with her career, with her education. She's now a mother of 2. And so I think that luckily opened up a discussion about safe sex, comprehensive sex education. So it might have started off as controversial, but it ended up being a good learning lesson or teachable moment for us. All right, so tell us the most controversial thing that happened while you were in school. Doesn't even have to be high school, could be middle school, could be elementary school. We want to hear your stories, damn it. So comment in the section below and we'll see you soon. Planet Fitness has decided to cancel the membership of one of their customers after she would not stop complaining about a transgender individual in the women's locker room. Now, apparently, this Michigan Planet Fitness, and Planet Fitness in general, has a very clear no judgment policy. If you are transgender, you should be able to go into the locker room that you identify with. So in this case, they were dealing with someone who was born as a man but identified as a woman. And so as a result, she should have the ability to go to the women's locker room. Now, the person who was unhappy about this is a woman by the name of Yvette Cormier. And she went into the women's locker room and then she saw the transgendered individual and she was upset about it. So she complained. Here's the response that Planet Fitness gave to her. They apparently told her, he said, if you're uncomfortable with that, then you can wait until he's done in there. I stood back and said, how about he waits until I'm done in the women's locker room or get a unisex bathroom? He asked if I would like to talk to the manager and I said, I'm calling corporate. Okay, so that's the patron, that's Cormier. Planet Fitness's response was basically that they are committed to creating a non-intimidating, welcoming environment for their members. Our gender identity non-discrimination policy states that members and guests may use all gym facilities based on their sincere, self-reported gender identity. So even though she contacted corporate, they gave her the same response. And so since she was unhappy with that response, Planet Fitness decided, well, we're just gonna cancel your membership. What do you guys make of this story? Haas, make your point.
I don't even like, I don't like seeing the old naked guys in my locker room. Not to say that this person shouldn't, you know, go to the locker room that she identifies herself with. I completely respect that. I really like what Planet Fitness did, even though I hate Planet Fitness because they're super like, oh, you can't drop the weights, you can't bring a water jug, and you can't grunt when you're working out. And I like working out like that. What? Like, they're judging me. They're judging the meathead.
I didn't know that they had that policy. What's wrong with? I feel like I grunt when I'm lifting.
Yeah, they have
weights.
ridiculous policies. I mean, it's a marketing move. They wanna make sure it's like a safe zone for everyone, for like wimpy guys that want to pay $10.
Come on, stop it! I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off. They're not wimpy guys. Melia, make your point.
I say go Planet Fitness. I love when bigots get their comeuppance. I think this woman is just jealous that the transgender chick looked better than her.
Damn. Well, I mean, look, just to be completely fair with this story, I know that for me personally, if I walked into the women's bathroom and I saw someone that didn't look like a woman, I would be a little shocked at first, but I think that I'm understanding and open enough to understand, oh, this is someone who identifies as a woman, so it is what it is, right? That person's not there to sexually molest me or assault me, right? And so when people spread rumors or thoughts like that, I really get annoyed by it. Okay, so here's the question. We got to answer it quickly.
Okay.
What's the worst part of the gym for you, Melia?
Going to the gym, period. So I don't. I mean, there's measles, there's Ebola, there's a superbug outbreak. I just rather just sit on my couch and veg out.
I hear you, girl. I hear you. Haas, what about you? You love the gym.
I do. I hate the unadulterated male nudity of people after the age of like 45 when they are like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna show my dick and balls to every single person in this locker room and I don't give a fuck. I hate that.
All
It's
right.
like, dude, come on. Just like put a towel over
So
it.
apparently for Haas, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you're allowed to free ball it as much as you want.
People, I'm just saying generally that's the demographic that is like.
The balls that you want to see.
No,
They're
that's
the ones that are more open about
showing off their balls and dicks. And it's come on.
Well, they're the least insecure, I would say. So that's why they're like, whatever, I don't care.
I don't want to see another guy's dick and balls.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. For me, I hate everything about gyms. I hate the people that go there to be seen. They're not really working out. I don't like being hit on at the gym because I'm only there to work out. And so I don't go to the gym. I either go running outdoors, or hiking, or lately I've been into yoga, so I go to a yoga studio. The gym is just, I don't know, overpriced, overcrowded, and oftentimes kind of dirty, right? So anyway, tell us some of your gym stories we want to hear in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching The Point this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We did do a double-decker show because we will not have a show next week, but you can check out this full show with 10 stories, and I hope that'll hold you guys over until we film again. I want to give our panelists an opportunity to plug some of their work. Melia Mills.
Yes, I am at the IO West March 28th, 7:30 p.m. with my one-woman show, The Allure of Thug Life. I just performed it at Comedy Central Stage. Hit me up at Melia Mills and come check out the show.
I love it. Hasan Piker.
Find Dude Heavy on YouTube. We haven't posted any clips yet, but we're going to. It's there's a lot of sexy stuff that we're gonna come out with in the next month. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Hasan the Hun if you want to see naked selfies of me.
Oh my God.
Mostly naked selfies.
I'm Anna Kasparian. You guys can check me out on The Point, obviously, and The Young Turks Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Please check out my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/Anna Kasparian. Follow me on Instagram, Anna Kasparian TYT, and Twitter at Anna Kasparian. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Point, and we will see you soon with another episode. Have a great night, and never be afraid to make your point.